they make sujood. وَهُمْ دَاخِرُونَ means dakhirun. What is the translation?
According to this, that they are lowly.
Like humble, right?
Huh?
Humble or?
Dakhirun means forcefully, basically. They have no choice. Yeah. They are made that way. And they can no change. Dakhirun, khadi'un, in a state of submission to the will of Allah. And that is to like us, then why we don't? If this is around you, you see them, khadi'un, surrender and submission to Allah. Why you don't? Why you don't? Even your shade is khadi' and submitting to Allah. Why you don't? That's the question. وَهُمْ دَاخِرُونَ يتفيأ ظلاله عن اليمين والسماء سجد لله وهم داخرون. Allah said in general, وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Everything has Allah created matters, not men, not human, not angels. No, matters. In heaven and earth, they are exactly the same way, in a state of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and willingly. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ دَابَّةٍ. Dabba is walking creatures. Dabba is living, walking creatures. Also, they are in the state of submission to Allah, wherever they are. And the angels. And they do it without any feeling, without being arrogant. لا يستكبرون. They don't feel like Iblis. I shouldn't do this. I am above. I deserve more than this. Because sujood is the highest level of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, يستكبرون. Stakbirun from kibr. What he said?
Pride.
Without
pride.
Right. If you do not make sujood to Allah, you are a person of false pride. That's exactly what is it. Your pride based on no basis. Why? If everything around you, and even as we said, you, in a way you don't notice, but you are, in a way you are, as we said, you are taking gradually. It's maybe not noticed by you because you are busy with some other things. Only, oh, my knees hurt. Oh, I can't see, I need glasses. But you are taken anyway. Sometimes you just ignore them or you don't notice them. That is the sign of submission to Allah. If you refuse and reject to accept Allah, to live in this universe peacefully, to be beneficial and harmful and positive contributor, you are falsely pride and arrogant. But no, why? On what basis you build this arrogancy? And so, basically anybody does not pray, he is an arrogant person. In very simple, plain way, anybody refused to pray, he is an arrogant, and what? He is fool, because arrogance on what basis? What do you have? What you have in this universe is yours. So you can say, I deserve to be proud and arrogant. What do you have? You didn't have even your shade. You didn't have even your age. You didn't have anything. It doesn't belong to you. Nothing belongs to you. So how can you be arrogant? So, لا يستكبرون. Now, we go to this, the matter of sujood. الخضوع والتذلل عن حب. 3 pillars required for sujood to be accepted by Allah and means to save you from His punishments. 3 requirements. It's not just physical sujood. Physical sujood is, maybe you are exercising, we don't know. So physical sujood is not valid unless it's accompanied by 3 conditions, 3 elements. Number 1, khudu'. Khudu', submission and surrender to the word of Allah, to the order of Allah. That's number 1. Second, humbleness and humiliation in front of the great, and you are nothing. Third, and this is based on love, not compulsion or hatred. 3 pillars required for sujood to be accepted and meet what Allah wants. Number 1, as we said, khudu', surrender and submission. Second, humbleness and humiliation. Third, love. Because in some places you surrender and submit unwillingly. Say you are in the military or you are subdued. So you submit and surrender, but not out of love. So if you put your forehead there and you are really having the slightest feeling of unhappiness, you are finished. You put your forehead down there on the floor and you have feeling about it, attitude, uncomfortable, whining and complaining, you are finished. If you have in your life something that you do it habitually and you're so excited about it, everyone has something. There are people, they just in the morning to read the newspaper, they just get excited about it. But even before they go to bed, they already prepare something. I'll grab newspaper. Some drinking coffee, some watching news, some whatever. There are habits in your life. You do it over and over with excitement. If this is what you're supposed to when you come to sujood, this is one of the habits. You should always come to it with excitement. That I'm going to connect to Him and I'm going to be raised, accepted, purified, forgiving and communicating to Him. That is how it should be. Other than that, Allah said, yastakbirun. They might do it, but they are mustakbir. They are mustakbirin, feeling it's so bad. There are people, they said, there are people when they come to bow, to make ruku', they do it just halfway. And you see from, this is kibr. This is real, the greatest sin is kibr. You might be thinking you are praying, but you are not. You are really committing the greatest sin. And kibr Allah doesn't like. Allah kibr hates. The most hated things is kibr. Allah said, I don't tolerate kibr. Shirk and kibr, no tolerance to it. Because the question again, why you are arrogant and pride? What belongs to you? Heaven and earth, the sun, the moon, what belongs to you? And nothing belongs to you. Piece of white clothes and little hole of dirt. That's all what belongs to you. That's all what belongs to you.
But good deeds, yeah.
Fine, yeah, but if you are not doing, as we said, we are talking about yastakbirun and sujood, alright? These two, they don't go together. Sujood and yastakbirun, they can't. And whenever you come, please, you need to change from today. These things, salah or sujood, should be the most exciting moment. You do it habitually, but with excitement. And you have things in your life that way. Like you get a good clothes, you wear it with excitement. Or a good shoes, you put it with excitement. Or there are so many things. This is the most important thing that you need to do in your life is sujood. Because it takes you through the whole universe to Allah direct. If they say, we are going to give you direct line to the White House. Anytime you turn the line, on the other end is the president talking to you. And you are allowed to do it once a day. What are you going to do? You're going to come to it and, oh sorry, I'm late. Oh sorry, you can do it with excitement, right? And he's the foolish one. Why? How about to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yeah, probably. I'm not sure either. Probably yes. I would never be excited. I don't care really. But there are some who will. I mean, when he goes to somewhere, you see people there standing in line for 2-3 days. Okay, well, they're excited basically, but I don't know why.
You know, Sheikh, there's nothing people see movies and they cry. They are so.
Okay, take the real examples. When we brought here Junaid Jamshid, right? People were excited. So excited from the whole week. And before Maghrib, this is the only time I was sitting in my office and people I never seen in my life. Coming so early and the building was full. People was excited.
I hate it. I don't know who's
Oh, you didn't come? Oh my God, you lost half of your life.
You know, Sheikh, I hate to say Muhammad Ali asked me to have a picture with him. I don't think he's bigger than Muhammad Ali.
Okay, so again, what we need to take this home today, because we are already making salah, but do it the right way. Okay? And this is what is it. If there is any traces of pride, of arrogancy or unhappiness about sujood, you are doing sin. You are doing sin. You fall down with submission, humbleness, humility, and love. This is something, the most loved things is to connect and communicate with Allah. So you should love sujood. Okay, so listen to again, he's gonna, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا 48 until the sujood.
Have they not observed things that Allah has created? How their shadows incline to the right and to the left, making prostration unto Allah Ta'ala. They are lowly, they have no choice. And to Allah Ta'ala prostrates all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, of the moving, living creatures and the malaika, and they are not proud, arrogant. They fear their Rabb above them, and they do what they are commanded.
So, they fear, either this is related to the angels, they fear their Rabb above them, and they do what they are commanded. That is also, we have to be the same thing. So, وقال الله لا تتخذوا إلهين اثنين إنما هو إله واحد فإياي فارهبون. I really cannot have enough of explaining this sujood and the word yastakbirun. Something you have to think about, study more, internalize and taste it. You must do what does it take to do it with excitement. Basically, that's what I want to say. You must do what does it take, knowledge, understanding, whatever it is, to do it with excitement, humbleness, humility, and also love to Allah and to that action, because you are being raised to the angels, as Allah said, wal malaika. You are, if you do it that way, you are raised to the level of the angels. So you must have that excitement when you do it, and it has to be habitual in your life to do it with that excitement. You never get tired of it. وقال الله لا تتخذوا إلهين اثنين إنما هو إله واحد فإياي فارهبون وله ما في السماوات والأرض وله الدين واصبا أفغير الله تتقون وما بكم من نعمة فمن الله ثم إذا مسكم الضر فإليه تجأرون ثم إذا كشف الضر عنكم إذا فريق منكم بربهم يشركون ليكفروا بما آتيناهم فتمتعوا فسوف تعلمون ويجعلون لما لا يعلمون نصيبا مما رزقناهم تالله لتسألن عما كنتم تفترون. Okay.
This is from 51 to
54, or to 55.
55, inshallah. And Allah Ta'ala said unto mankind, take not ilahin, two deities and worship with Allah Ta'ala. Verily, Allah Ta'ala is Wahid, the one and only Ilah. Then fear me, Allah Ta'ala, much, and me alone. Be away from all kinds of sins and evil deeds that Allah has forbidden, and do all that Allah has ordained, and worship none but Allah. To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, and ad-din wasiba, or His perpetual sincere obedience to Allah Ta'ala, is wajib, obligatory. None for it, obligatory. None has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Will you then fear any other than Allah? And whatever of blessings and good things you have, it is from Allah Ta'ala. Then, when harm touches you, unto Allah you cry aloud for help. Then, when Allah has removed the harm from you, behold, some of you associate others in worship with Allah.
Okay. Probably you know this concept that there are people, they think there is God for the light and God for the dark, God for good, God for evil, God for beauty and God for ugliness. You know this concept, right? In the old, also Greek philosophers, there are always two gods, one for this side and one for this side. This is why Allah said, don't take two gods, it's only one. Okay, ilahayn ithnaini. This kind of duality, I don't know why man come to it, that they cannot, as you see, you cannot put the dark and the light together, you cannot put evil and good together. So there must be two gods, one good and one bad. And the bad does the bad things and the good one does the good things. But if you imagine that, let's put this in discussion. If there are really two sheriffs, one does the good, one does the bad, what's going to happen? One go to enforce the law, and one go to break the law, and he's a sheriff too. What's going to happen? It would never work.
They're going to cancel out.
They're going to cancel out. They're going to fight.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am coming to enforce the law, and he's coming to break the law. And he has the same authority like me. Then before we can do anything, we're going to just have to they're going to fight. And so has no basis, this thinking that all these, maybe the opposite things, they have two separate God, and they are in rift and fight. We don't see any fight. If we see the fight, what is going to happen? I mean, is there any fight in the universe? Is there any fight in your life? Is there anyone one day was able to repel against death? It's not. It's, as we look at it, it's all harmonized, going one way, one direction, and coming from one source. That is what we see when we look to the universe and to man and all other creatures and creations. We can say they have one origin, one source, one will, and they are what? They are unified, they are harmonized, they are integrated. They're absolutely, you have never seen conflict or fight or opposition, except where? In man life. Human being life, yeah, we see. And that's why we have what? We have good, we have bad, we have criminals, and we have noble people. In our life, it is allowed for us to cancel the work of each other. I am going to be good, he is going to be bad. This is allowed in our life, and for us as human, with rational, to make rational and do whatever we want to do. That's what the verse said. وقال الله لا تتخذوا إلهين اثنين إنما هو إله واحد فإياي فارهبون. Say that again, 51.
And Allah Ta'ala said, O mankind, O human beings, take not ilahain, two deities, and worship with Allah Ta'ala. Verily Allah Ta'ala is Wahid, one ilah. Then fear me, Allah Ta'ala, much, and me alone. To Him, Allah, 52. To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth. And adeen wasiba, perpetual sincere obedience to Allah is fard. None has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Will you then fear other than Allah?
That is, now, as everything belongs to Allah, as we just said, it is integrated, is harmonized, is function according to one will, not two wills, and we don't see anything to indicate there is honestly two origins for whatever we see in this universe or for us in our body and all these things. So وَلَهُ الدِّينُ وَاصِبًا. Wasiba means the deen, surrender, submission, sujood is belong to Allah alone. And it is, wasiba means only to Him. Only the one deserved, worthy of it is Him. Wasiba means complete. Complete deen, complete submission is to Allah. You cannot take part here and divide your submission and your surrender to anything. And wasiban, also, it is must. The only one to be worshipped is Allah. So that is wasiba. That's why we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, means I am convinced, I am believer, I am compelled by all proofs and evidence to testify that only one deity worthy of worship. That is wasiba. All of it complete, and it is must. It's not optional to worship Allah or anyone else. I mean, if you are logic, or if you think of the Day of Judgment, really it is an option. But is it in another way? It's not an option. Why? Because, as we said, we are taken back and we held responsible for it, and we're going to pay for it. So in reality, it is not an option to worship anything other than Allah, or not to worship anything else. It's not an option. That is also the means wasiba. أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ تَتَّقُونَ. So then how you fear someone else other than Allah? Belong to Him. وَلَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلَهُ الدِّينُ وَاصِبًا أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِّعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ إِذَا مَسَّكُمُ الضُّرُّ فَإِلَيْهِ تَجْأَرُونَ. Whatever ni'mah we have, it is from Allah. This is also a concept that people get confused about it. Whatever good you have, it is from Allah. Whatever bad, it comes from you. Okay? With the permission of Allah. But whatever good you have, it is from Allah and by the help of Allah. Well, let's take things you have, things you do. Whatever you have, it is good, it is from Allah. Whatever you have bad, it is from you by the permission of Allah. Now whatever good you do, it is by the help of Allah. Whatever harm or evil you do, it is by you by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah only permit, because it's already there, designed in a way to be not right if it's not following His order and His command. We gave example a long time ago, and I think you still remember that. All what I have to permit evil to happen, but I didn't have to do evil. As we said, the man have a guard dog. If you have a guard dog, vicious guard dog, what the dog is going to do? By their nature, what they're going to do? They're going to guard. Forcefully, right? So I am the king. Do I have to go and fight? No, the dog will do it. What I have to do?
Order.
To permit. It will jump. No, I will have to permit the dog, or I have to restrain the dog. Alright? This is how Allah has made all His creation to be a guard for His order and His command. All. Even your eyes, your bed, your wall, your animal, your car, everything is guards for the limits of Allah. And if Allah permits, any one of them can step up and hurt you and stop you. But Allah does not permit. Allah restrained them. And that's why Allah said, the earth, every day, see sinner to say, Ya Allah, permit me to swallow them.
Yes.
Allah say no. Even the earth. Or when you bow, that place say, Allah, permit me to raise him. Allah said, I'll give him the reward, but don't. So, all the creations of Allah are the guards of His limit. And Allah sometimes permit bad and evil to happen, and sometimes say no, or most of the time Allah restrain His creation until the day of judgment. And you know Allah permit hellfire to do whatever it takes, and hellfire is the greatest guard. Allah said, تَغَيُّضًا وَزَفِيرًا, so angry. Hellfire itself is so angry. And you can hear the breathing and the exhaling. Ooh, hellfire is angry. To swallow, and does swallow the sinners. Really. It sends flames like a thing to capture you. Hellfire send flames like the mountains, Allah said, or like a castles to swallow you. Everything around you, really the guards of Allah, and they want to protect the limits of Allah when you violate, but Allah said no. And that's why when you take to the car, سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا إلى ربنا لمنقلبون. When you sleep, بسمك اللهم أضع جنبي وباسمك أرفع الله. That's why you tell Allah, Alhamdulillah, I am protected. I break your limits, but you give me chance to be not punished by anything around us. And the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, the Salihin, the righteous people, the previous generations, they say, when I sin, I see the effect of my sin in the behavior of my animals. Even the donkeys start acting in different way to guard the boundary of Allah, and to say you are a sinner, you can't ride me. So that is how we need to feel. We are safe, protected by being connected to Allah, repenting to Allah, and fearing only Allah. Because of Allah permit, all these can come to guard His limit and hurt and harm us, even within yourself. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ إِذَا مَسَّكُمُ الضُّرُّ فَإِلَيْهِ تَجْأَرُونَ. When we have trouble or problems, we just come back to Allah. I mean, and I said, when we are in crisis and when we are in trouble, what do we do? فَذُو دُعَاءٍ عَرِيضٍ. Long dua we make. دُعَاءٍ عَرِيضٍ, the longest dua. And once the problem is over,
Forget it.
yeah, even we don't pray the farm.
We don't know.
Yeah. ثم إذا كشف الضر عنكم إذا فريق منكم بربهم. Some of you, that's another problem. Some of you will associate the relief to something else other than Allah. Will say, I took medicine, I exercised, I went to the doctors, I was smart not to let this and this and this. Said, well, once the problem is over, you are going to associate something other than Allah and attribute the relief to Allah and something else. You might think, oh, I'm smart, I did this, it's because of me. That is shirk. It's all, the relief comes from Allah, and the heart or the harm was by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You forgot two big things. That is, go to the dargah and pir.
I don't know what's that.
Now, rather money. What is the dargah? You go to dargah, you know, pir and pir.
Oh, the grave.
Oh, yeah, that is another shirk. You associate basically other than Allah and in solving that crisis, and that is shirk.
And they go to sheikh to pray for it.
Actually said, لِيَكْفُرُوا بِمَا آتَاهُمْ فَتَمَتَّعُوا فَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah said, Even though you associate the relief and the bounty to someone other than Allah, I will give you respite. You might repent, otherwise you will be back and I will let you know what was wrong. وَيَجْعَلُونَ لِمَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ نَصِيبًا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ تَاللَّهِ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ عَمَّا كُنْتُمْ تَفْتَرُونَ. That's whatever you have said. You give part of your submission, of your sujood, of your surrender of your worship to deities that they don't know anything really. They don't exist. وَيَجْعَلُونَ لِلَّهِ الْبَنَاتِ وَلَهُ. Okay, go ahead. 256 and then we're going to stop there.
And then when Allah Ta'ala has removed the harm from you, behold, some of you associate others in worship with Allah. So, as a result of that, they deny with ungratefulness that Allah's favors which Allah had bestowed on them. Then enjoy yourselves your short stay, but you will come to know with regrets. And they assign a portion of that which Allah has provided them unto what they know not, false deities. By Allah, you should certainly be questioned about all that you used to fabricate.
By Allah, you should be questioned by all things that you have fabricated. Okay, there are some other examples now related to the issue of boy and a girl, male and female, and how the people in Jahiliyyah, Arabs and non-Arabs, used to basically favor big time boys over girls, and they believe the woman or the female is a source of shame and evil and bad things in life. This is started all the way from where? From the Jews and coming down, where they think woman is the source of all evil in this life. So Arabs have their share of that. And that is the coming verse, inshallah. We'll do that next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. If you have, yeah.
When you said that when you do the good things is by the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you do the bad things is from me with this permission.
Sah.
I should permit you to do the bad things.
Sah. Because sometimes also you try to do bad things, Allah prevent you. It does not permit you. And so that is the good, this is what is required to believe in Allah. Allah helps you to do the good things when you deserve and qualify. And Allah permits you to do the bad things when sees you that you are insisted and you are unwilling to quit. So Allah permits you to do the bad things. All evil things happens by men themselves or by the creation of Allah and His permission. All the good things happen by His help and assistance, and that's why we say وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. As we said, maybe you make sujood, but the sujood you consider ta'ah, but in the book of Allah considered as sin. You make sujood and you think you have done obedience to Allah, but it's written in the book of Allah it's a sin. Why? Because you are arrogant, you are pride, you didn't have love, you didn't have submission, you didn't have humbleness. So it is not really ta'ah, it is a sin. It can't go to the greatest sin. So to do good, accepted to the level Allah please, is by His help. That's we need His help. And that way we say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Guide us to do the good things up to your prescriptions and descriptions. Allahu Alam. Tayyib. Go ahead.
Sheikh, here's the first you mentioned that days 4 days the milestone. So is the Quranic reference the ayah? The